All right, let's just dive right into this explainer. We're looking at something that's fundamentally rewiring how developers work. Right now, let's be honest, most of us are using AI like a glorified search engine. You ask a question, copy the code, paste it in, and hope for the best. But today, we're unpacking 7 production-grade workflows for Cursor. And here's the absolute core premise we need to accept right out of the gate. You've got to shift your mindset. You're no longer a passive AI user. You are a technical director. And that completely changes how you build software.
80%. Seriously, if you're treating AI code editors like they're just a fancy autocomplete to fill out your boilerplate code or maybe let it guess your next variable name, you are literally leaving exactly 80% of its power completely on the table. I mean, you're doing all the heavy lifting while the AI just kind of sits there and watches. Think about all the hours spent scaffolding, testing, and debugging. If you're only letting AI finish your sentences, you are missing out on the absolute biggest paradigm shift in modern coding.
So what is that massive 80% chunk we're missing? It's agentic orchestration. Cursor isn't just a code editor with a chat window slapped onto it. It's an agentic platform designed to plan, execute, test, and actually iterate across your entire codebase. It doesn't just guess your next word, it executes your architecture. Think of it way less like a smart typewriter and much more like having an entire development team literally waiting for your instructions to build out full-scale features.
Now check out the stark contrast between the amateur developer and the true orchestrator. The amateur just types out some vague prompt like, hey, add a login page, crosses their fingers, and blindly trusts that first chaotic draft. But the senior engineer, they're employing spec-driven requirements, modular rules, and ruthless automated critiques. It's the difference between just hoping for the best and actually engineering for success. Listen, you wouldn't accept a completely unreviewed pull request from a total stranger, right? So you absolutely shouldn't accept one from an AI without having the right systems in place.
To help you unlock that hidden 80%, we're going to walk through a clear maturity model across 3 distinct stages. First, Phase 1, the foundation. Then, Phase 2, execution and iteration. And finally, Phase 3, scale and architecture.
All right, let's start with Phase 1, the foundation.
The crucial mindset shift here is treating the AI like a brilliant but highly literal junior engineer. Look, you wouldn't just tell a junior to go build a feature and then walk away. They'd break production. They need a spec-first session with 4 highly detailed ingredients: specific context, a super clear objective, strict constraints so they don't accidentally drop your database, and measurable verification tests to prove it actually works. Without these 4 pillars, you're practically begging the AI to hallucinate.
In practice, this means setting very strict constraints. When you explicitly tell the AI things like, use existing bcrypt and don't modify the schema, and you demand verification tests right there in that initial prompt, the AI completely stops guessing. Moving from vague wishes to rigorous specification forces the AI to give you code-based compliant logic on the very first try. It totally flips the dynamic. Instead of you constantly cleaning up the AI's messes, the AI actually conforms to your specific project architecture right out of the gate.
To support this, we really have to rethink our rules and seriously ditch that disastrous 500-line monolithic rule file. If you hand an AI 500 lines of global rules, it just loses context and ignores half of them anyway. The professional move here is to implement modular, domain-specific rule directories. You create separate files for React patterns or CSS architectures that only load when they're actually relevant. This funnels the AI's focus, shrinks its context window, and drastically cuts down on bugs. Why? Because the AI isn't getting distracted by back-end logic while it's trying to write front-end components.
Now here is a massive pro tip you should absolutely implement today. Use a universal context file. Let's call it project context.mdc and set it to always apply. By defining your absolute non-negotiables and stack choices right here, the AI never hallucinates about libraries or folder structures you aren't even using. It is a total game changer. It'll save you hours of fixing bad imports and untangling dependencies. You give it the exact boundaries and it stays inside them. Simple as that.
Moving right along to Phase 2, execution and iteration.
So we definitely don't need to spin up a massive AI session for every single minor change, right? This generation matrix perfectly illustrates how senior engineers choose their execution vector based purely on the scope of the problem. You've got near-instant inline edits for a single function, the full-screen composer for large multi-file refactors, and parallel agents for exploring multipath architecture. Using the right tool for the right scope keeps you moving incredibly fast.
You wouldn't use a sledgehammer to hang a picture frame, so please don't use an entire agentic workflow just to rename a variable.
Now, to really enforce production standards on those larger generations, senior engineers absolutely swear by this two-pass protocol. In Pass 1, the AI builds the implementation as a maker, just getting that first draft working. But then you immediately flip the script. You bring in a reasoning model to become the checker, creating a somewhat adversarial review process right inside your editor. The AI is essentially auditing its own work from a completely fresh perspective before you even lay eyes on it.
And you literally hit the AI with this ruthless prompt. You tell it, forget that you wrote this, find 3 logic flaws, 1 performance bottleneck, and suggest 1 maintainability improvement. Do not sugarcoat. You're forcing it to critically review its own draft as if it were a principal engineer. When you explicitly demand that it finds flaws and doesn't sugarcoat anything, you strip away the AI's tendency to be, overly polite. This drastically reduces the number of bugs that ever make it to production. You want it to be brutally honest with you now, so your users don't have to be brutally honest with you later.
For the smaller tweaks, though, we don't need that heavy protocol. If we're just refactoring a single function to use async await, or maybe adding some type annotations, we use surgical inline edits. This lets you make precise, in-place modifications without ever losing your context, opening up a new window, or breaking your flow state. As a developer, protecting that deep focus is literally everything, and inline edits let the AI jump in and assist you without jarring you out of the zone.
Okay, but what about when things really go off the rails? We have all been stuck in that miserable loop of pasting errors into a chat window and just guessing. Senior orchestrators do not do that. Instead, they deploy a rigorous 4-step, hypothesis-driven debugging process. You instrument strategic logs. You execute the code to capture real-world data. You analyze the actual root cause rather than guessing, and only then do you propose a fix. It turns debugging from a frantic copy-paste nightmare into a highly methodical, engineering-grade investigation. When you combine that debugging process with agent mode, it creates this incredible self-healing loop. The AI automatically injects tracking logs, runs your tests, actually sees the failures, and iterates autonomously on live error output until the bug is just completely squashed. You basically get to sit back and watch it scientifically heal your codebase. It's like having this incredibly fast, tireless coding partner who will just continuously run down the rabbit hole until the console is completely green.
All right, bringing it all together in Phase 3, Scale and Architecture. This is where the tool seriously flexes its power. For those complex multi-path features, you can actually spawn up to 8 parallel agents simultaneously. From just a single prompt, you can have one agent try out a traditional REST approach, another explore functional handlers, and a third test out a GraphQL resolver. And because they're operating in completely isolated Git work trees, they never conflict with each other. It's basically like having 3 senior developers prototyping for you at the exact same time. You just compare the trade-offs in a unified sidebar and make the final architectural decision.
Finally, we scale this whole thing by automating the repetitive stuff. We encode reusable, test-driven development workflows directly into the editor, using skills and hooks. Like setting up a testing suite can be super tedious, right? But here, you're essentially programming the AI's behavior to automatically write tests, run them, build the implementation, and refactor. It perfectly matches your team's specific standards without you having to repeatedly ask for it. The editor actually learns your process.
As you implement these 7 workflows, you end up constructing what we call the agentic flywheel. Modular rules feed into a spec-first composer, which leads to rigorous debug protocols, all codified into reusable skills. The beautiful part is that the output of one workflow feeds the structured input for the exact next one. It becomes this continuous self-healing loop of software design, making your entire system continuously smarter and faster with every single execution. Your tools literally improve the more you use them.